Ask the Messenger's TV show is a TV show that educates, informs, and entertains our viewers on public health issues such as mental illness, suicide, addiction, illness and disease, COVID-19 relief, crime, domestic violence, homelessness, human trafficking, employment opportunities, healthcare, and more. And now, Ask the Messengers.
The Southeast Michigan Alliance for Addiction-Free Communities, Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, and Detroit Wayne Integrated Health Network hosted the 7th Annual Opioid and Substance Use Disorders Solution Summit, and the Ask the Messengers team was there. We spoke with several partnership providers and summit attendees. This year's goal was to build greater connections that support those in various stages of prevention efforts, treatment, and recovery. Throughout the day, various workshops and presenters shared information and resources that will help create and support recovery-friendly workplaces and how to better engage and collaborate effective support, prevention, treatment, and recovery. Today on Ask the Messengers, you will hear from a few of those providers and attendees. Plus, a few real people share real stories about their experience with opioid and substance use. Ask the Messengers begins now.
Hello everyone, I'm Jacinta Siobhan. We are at the 7th Annual Opioid and Substance Use Disorder Solution Summit at Laurel Manor in Livonia, Michigan. We have some interviews coming up for you shortly, so stay tuned. The Detroit Wayne Integrated Health Network provides services and support to 75,000 people in Wayne County. DWIN serves people with mental illness, intellectual and developmental disabilities, individuals with substance use disorders, and children with serious emotional disturbances. DWIN is the largest and most diverse community mental health agency in the state of Michigan, and it is committed to providing the highest quality of integrated health care to those it serves while working alongside with dedicated and compassionate provider network. And what brings you to this event today, and why is it such an important event to you?
I'm at this event to talk about what the city of Detroit is doing to respond to the opioid overdose crisis and to save lives in our community. And it's important to me because over 400 Detroit residents lost their lives last year to an opioid overdose. And these are preventable deaths. Recovery is possible. There are resources in our community. So I'm here to spread that message.
And can you tell me a little bit more about what you do and what inspires you to keep going?
Absolutely. So at the city, I'm a senior advisor to the deputy mayor, and I work on issues in public safety, public health, and public transportation. And what inspires me to keep going is seeing the commitment and resilience of the people of the city of Detroit every day. I've never been in a city where the people were so invested in their community, in making things better. They show up every single day working toward that goal, and that inspires me to do my job as well.
Thank you. If you could look into the camera and give our viewers a word of encouragement or advice or send a message, what would you like to say today?
I'd like to say recovery is possible. If you, a friend, a family member, if anyone you know is struggling with substance use or opioid use, recovery is possible, resources are available, and the city of Detroit is doing everything that we can to respond to this crisis.
So I don't need to ask this guy his name because I went to elementary school with him, but just for everyone else, what's your name?
My name is Lawrence Wilson.
Good to run into you today. So can you tell me a little bit about your company?
Yes, I work for the Detroit Recovery Project. We are a nonprofit organization in the city of Detroit. We service people who have substance use disorders and their families. We have a peer recovery coaches. We have a recovery training institute. We also have 2 transitional homes to help people get back on their feet.
Good. And why is this event so important to you?
Oh my gosh, this event is so important. Number one, because of the wonderful networking opportunities. We have met so many different organizations that we are able to partner with, and we're trying to get our youth more engaged in our community. because we know a lot of youth do use substances. So we've met a lot of great organizations here today where we can, partner with them for some of the events that we have going on and spread some of the resources around, spread some of the wealth around in the community.
Can you tell me a little bit more about like what you do and what inspires you to keep going in what you're doing?
Thank you. Well, my current position is the community relations liaison. So I am directly involved in helping to plan and coordinate the events, getting the partners for the events, ordering food and supplies for all of our events. But why this work is important to me, I love doing outreach, and I am in recovery myself. It's been 4 years and 10 months since my last drink and snort of cocaine. But I also lost a sibling on Valentine's Day in 2015 to a heroin overdose laced with fentanyl. Thank you. So that really springboarded me into wanting to do this work more. I never heard of fentanyl, never heard of Narcan, fentanyl test strips. I never knew of what an SSP was. It wasn't until I lost my baby sibling to a fentanyl overdose that I realized that there's a lot of work that needs to be done. Like, I feel like I'm very smart, like you, but I feel like I'm smart, but like there was a whole world that I never learned or knew about. And I know there's other people out there like that too.
So to those other people out there, if you could give a message, send encouragement, what would you want to say? You can look in the camera and let them know.
If you are out there and you are struggling with substance use disorder, I would say don't give up. There's hope. There's organizations like the Detroit Recovery Project. We have services at the Detroit Health Department, like 313 HOPE, where you can get help. It's not the end of the world. If you have a problem, like there's a lot of us that have problems. We have mental health issues. We have trauma from our childhood, and that springboards you into doing things that you probably never thought you would do before. But don't lose faith and don't give up, because you are not the worst human in the world, and you are not the only person to go through this. I never thought that I would stop drinking, but I did. I used to drink every day, 7 days a week, from 7 a.m. to 2 a.m., literally. So you could do it too. Hennessy used to be my best friend, but now recovery is my best friend, and recovery is for you too.
Coming up, we continue with more of our coverage from the 7th Annual Opioid and Substance Use Disorder Solutions Summit. Ask the Messengers will be right back.
Gwendolyn Bammel. I'm from Ascension Eastwood Recovery Center. It's a men's substance abuse program for guys who are homeless or indigent and have Medicaid.
So what brings you to this event, and why is it so important to you?
As a person in long-term recovery, it really is important to stay up to date on what's the most effective, how we can help people, and how we help people get their lives back.
So tell me a little bit more about what you do and what inspires you to do it.
Because I'm in recovery, I decided a long time ago that I wanted to help other people find that same path. And sometimes we can help them, other times they're not ready yet. And so we just plant some seeds of what the potential is and how we can get our lives back. Myself and most of the staff at Eastwood are in recovery. So we know firsthand what addiction can destroy in our lives and what recovery can bring back. And I just love seeing our alumni come back and visit, and seeing the alumni get their lives back, get their jobs back, get their families back. It's the best part of what we do.
So I'm here to speak about recovery-friendly workplace initiatives and what corporate America can do to be part of this solution for substance use disorder by destigmatizing it in the workplace and creating community.
My name is John Wilson, and I'm with Addiction Recovery Care located in Kentucky. Well, we were invited to come speak today about the recovery efforts that we're doing in Kentucky, and see about any areas of collaboration that we can do here in Michigan.
Tell me more about what you do and what inspires you to do it.
Well, I'm the market president for Addiction Recovery Care, and in that role, I'm responsible for all our residential and outpatient centers in Kentucky, Virginia, and Ohio. And so I've been inspired to enter this field because I recognize this is probably the number one issue facing America today. Truly it is. It affects just about every single family, and it affects every single aspect of life. So not only, addressing the problem is a passion of mine, but helping to remove that stigma so that we can make real progress is something that's very important.
Hello, how are you guys doing today?
Hi, we're good. Thank you. How are you?
Good. Hi, how are you? Good. So, what are your names and what company are you with?
My name is Dr. Eliz,
My name is Shanice Moore.
and we are with Quality Behavioral Health.
Okay, so what brings you to this event today, and why do you think this is such an important event?
We are here today to showcase our mobile units. We recently started taking our buses to areas where they are DEA approved for treatment and methadone dispensing clinic.
What keeps you going and what you're doing?
Absolutely. What we do after the DEA approved our locations, we started taking the buses to areas where they are underserved communities, where they do not normally receive much attention or treatment when it comes to substance abuse. So we started taking these approved vehicles to these areas where we meet and service our communities and dispense. Medications, treatment services such as counseling, doctor visits, and group therapies.
So, did you want to ask?
Well, I just did want to say I think it's great that what we're doing because we are servicing the patients where they are. So we're meeting them where the needs in the communities where they're not able to have the resources to get to their doctor's office or to get their medication assistant programs. And so we take these big blue buses out there and we show them what we can do for them.
Okay, so if either of you could take a look at the camera and send any message, a message of hope, a message of encouragement, what would you like to say today?
Well, I would like to say that treatment is a choice, and we are here to service your needs where you are. So, and we do provide transportation services for that. And so, a moment of inspiration is just to say you're not alone. We are here to help you. We are here to service you, and we look forward to helping our communities.
Absolutely. We are actually the first in the state to start a program like this because we are looking at the increase of number of overdosing among in Michigan and among our communities. And this particular program, we're hoping to service around more than just the areas that we're servicing right now. We want to go bigger and bigger and expand more to help as many people as we can to kind of like reduce the substance abuse and the overdosing among our community.
And what brings you to this event, and why is it so important to you?
Well, I'm a peer recovery coach with the state of Michigan. So the issues and the topics at hand interest me, especially how can we help the community. And I'm all about helping the community. It is important. I understand there's an epidemic, especially with opioid. So my goal is to help and to learn as much as possible so I can help people.
Can you tell me a little bit more about what you do and what inspires you to do it?
Well, two things I do. One, from the treatment side, we use statistics, we use best practices, we use our education to try to help people. From the spiritual side, bottom line is we pray and try to get people connected to the power of the Lord to help turn people away from their past. We're looking at people that have lost families, they've lost their job, they lost their homes, so we're trying to rebuild people. We're trying to recover people.
My name is Cynthia Simmons Wilson. I am with Elmhurst Home Incorporated. I am a recovery coach as well as a unit supervisor for recovery housing.
Okay, and what brings you to this event, and why is it so important to you?
Because it's saving lives. I need continued education on all drugs, not just one drug. And that's how we save lives. We get continued education. So we need to do things like this so that we can continue to get the education that we need.
Yeah, and so tell me more about what you do and what inspires you to do it.
What inspires me to do it is not only do I have drug use in my family, I myself am in recovery. I have 23 years, and I just want to help people stay clean. Because if I could do it, anybody can. Believe that. I was one of those people that thought I would never, ever stop using drugs. I promise you. Jesus, tears of joy. Thank you, Jesus. And it happened. And it's like, I just keep coming. I just keep coming. And I work with men. And they respect me as a woman, not as that person I used to be. You know what I'm saying? My heart is all over the place with it.
That's a wonderful testimony. If you could look into that camera and give our viewers any message or words of encouragement, what would you like to say?
I would like to say that if I can get clean and stay clean, anybody can. Because I was one of the worst addicts you ever want to see. And I never thought I could do it. But I'm standing right here one day at a time for 23 years. My clean date, January 9th, 2001. Come on, y'all. I'll help you. I'm at Elmhurst home.
Can I give you a high five?
So what brought me to this event is that I am a substance use prevention specialist. And so learning about any substances, learning about ways to help the community is the best thing. And I also work with children. So the best way is to get the information early so that you can let them know. I'm not about scare tactics and scaring them away. I'm about information and just making sure they know the information before they try to do anything. You know what I'm saying?
So can you tell me a little bit more about what you do and what inspires you to do it?
Absolutely. So we go to schools in Oakland County and also Wayne County, any school, high schools, middle school, elementary, and we teach kids substance use prevention, but we also teach them financial literacy. I love what I do, and the reason I chose to do it is because I have family members who didn't graduate from high school. And I tell them now, and I try to tell my students now, education is number one. At this point, you can't even get a job at McDonald's without a high school diploma. So that's number one. And if we want to live and be successful, poverty level is about $20,000. It probably is even more so $25,000 nowadays. So it's like, if you want to be successful, if you don't want to live check to check, if you want to have an environment to where you're not stressed all the time and go to those drugs, here is a way to be successful and look good doing it. You know, a lot of these kids look at social media and influencers to try to get a gauge of what they should be doing and what's cool and what's not. And so I try to be that positive influence at all times to just give them, I could be cool and you see what I got on, but I can also not be indulging in what everyone else is indulging in.
One thing I would say is you come into this program with two things, an attitude and a clean date, and one of them has to change. You know, that's pretty much it. You know what I mean? I mean, that's just the truth of it. You know, one of them's got to change. It's either your attitude or your clean date. And for me, it was my attitude, but my clean date changed many times. So I learned to change my attitude now.
I would say transformation is possible. And transformation is about a change of your mind. If your mind is changed, your situation will change, your behavior will change. So I would say have hope, keep hope today.
Even when you're at your most broken, there is something you can do to get your life back. And all it takes is reaching out a hand and letting somebody help you.
Okay, cliche, right? Recovery happens. I think one day at a time, and keep doing what you do and work your program.
After the break, a few real people share real stories about their experiences with opioid and substance use. Stay tuned for more of Ask the Messengers.
Chris, what was your drug of choice?
My drug of choice was prescription painkillers.
Hey, Mike. Can you tell me, Mike, what's your drug of choice?
Opiates, pills, Percocets.
And how long did you use?
I used prescription painkillers from the ages of 17 until about 32, 33.
And how were you able to get a hold to it?
It started with a basketball injury. I fell and busted my elbow on the court, and ironically enough, the doctor put me on them.
And how long were you using?
I was using, once I hit about 20, it was daily, all day, every day, as much as I could.
I have a lot of family support. I wasn't raised in a broken up home, so I don't have that excuse. I just didn't know where to go, how to do it. I'm Muslim, so I grew up in a Muslim household, very strict mother and father, but they gave us everything we ever needed. I had everything I ever wanted. I just resorted to it. No one put a gun to my head, but I was around the wrong people. And I just did it. I liked it too much, and I got addicted.
And what brought you to your knees where you said, look, enough is enough?
The pain became so great that the drugs no longer worked. It didn't mask anything. It didn't make the pain go away. It was still there, and you know, it crushed me. It buckled me.
Okay, and what was it that finally made you want to stop?
I went back to God and realized that my life was nothing without Him, and I guess you could say that I found the light again and realized that I was worth more and deserved more.
Well, that concludes this week's episode of Ask the Messengers. We also invite you to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and to subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you would like to help support our show, please feel free to make a donation of any kind by visiting our show website, www.askthemessengers.org. If you prefer to mail donations, please make check or money order payable to Ask the Messengers TV show and send it to 18400 Schaefer Highway, Detroit, Michigan 48235. Ask the Messengers is the program that deals with things that help you. Thank you for watching.